The ultimate monumental Fashion Week venue is at the Gotham, an elegant, old-world former bank building. In this palatial setting, Cynthia Rowley presents her collection, complete with Martha Stewart in the front row to add a dash of New York celebrity. After the show, I ran into Project Runway's Tim Gunn.
Came with certain expectations, and what I love most about what she's achieved is that she's really done some very serious risk-taking. And I felt that some of the fabric combinations were not to be expected, and some of the construction details were very innovative. And I'm really thrilled by it. Frankly, like most fashion shows, I'd love to see it again. It's a lot to take in, but I have a real feeling of excitement about this collection, and I just hope she does well with the buyers.
At the end of a dimly lit corridor, I happen upon Cynthia Rowley, standing in the shadows. She's one of the most down-to-earth designers in the New York fashion world, and I ask her about her new role as a TV design personality.
I just did it because I thought it would be fun, and
But it must be funny for you because you're already obviously a big star in the fashion world. Everyone would know you in fashion circles. But now the rest of the country, now you're famous amongst a whole new audience.
I know,
So,
it's so funny.
have you picked up any kind of, has anything funny happened to you because of that, or getting reservations that maybe you wouldn't have gotten out in the middle of nowhere, or?
Well, one funny thing was I never can watch myself on the shows because I don't know, it makes me nervous next time I have to do one, so I don't like to watch. And I was flying to see my family on JetBlue at Christmas time, and you can watch TV, and Project Runway was on, and I was one of the judges, and so I was like, wait a second, I'm on JetBlue, and there I am, and when you're sitting in those seats, you see your face all the way down the row, so it's 30 rows of my face, I don't know, it's kind of funny.
Finally, I get into the Donna Karan show. Don't ask me how I did it. I don't fully understand how I did it myself, but there I was, little me in Fashion Week heaven. Fashionistas will sell their firstborn to get into this show.
Well, Donna, year after year, your clothes jump off the rack. Women like me go out and gobble them up. How do you keep your collections exciting season after season?
It was a collection that felt very close to my heart. I want it. I mean, I think it truly stated who I was and how I feel. There are certain collections that come from an artistic point, and there are certain that are really personalized, and this was a personal.
And then there are the legendary Fashion Week parties. It's an art even finding out where they are, no less getting into some of the top ones. It's always smart practice to chat up the party divas, like actress Sylvia Miles, a fixture on the New York celebrity circuit and party insider.
During Heatherette, so I went to Jason's party because I wanted to see Mira Sorvino's baby. She had the baby with her at the party.
What? Oh my gosh, how was it the most adorable thing ever?
Adorable, and the husband is pretty cute too.
For sheer debauchery, you can always count on the designer Jeremy Scott's downtown Fashion Week parties, where the top fashion models gyrate in his swimsuits, and the bad boy designer himself is at the center of it all. Around the gallery are peep show booths. Now, ladies and gentlemen viewers, this is, after all, TV. I can't show you some of the different tableaus, but you should get the idea from the ones I can show you. There's many different elements of New York Fashion Week, many different fashion tribes gathering here. From the hipster club scene fashions of Heatherette, to the couture designs of Carolina Herrera and Diane von Furstenberg, to the shock value of Jeremy Scott.
How are you?
Clearly, we are outside on what is a very rainy New York day. And unfortunately, we just broke our perfect record. Up to now, we had gotten into every fashion show. We felt pretty cool until we got to Ralph Lauren. Unfortunately, my producer made a little bit of a faux pas and told the people at the door that we didn't RSVP. Rule number 1 for Fashion Week: when in doubt, make up a story and make it good. Sometimes by telling people at the door that you're on the list and you don't know how this could possibly have happened, and your assistant RSVP'd and they need to find your name and they need to get somebody else, and eventually they're so tired of you that they just want you out of their hair and they'll let you in the show. But by telling them that you didn't RSVP, they pretty much have carte blanche to kick you out immediately, which unfortunately is what happened to us.
It's about the woman who's walking down 57th Street in her Chanel, and it's also about that man that's working out in the field on a farm somewhere out in the northwestern states in his Levi's, you know?
I think fashion is a way that people define themselves so they can find their tribe. So there's somebody I might see on the street, because I'm kind of a secret goth, or not so secret. So I might see another goth person from 2 blocks away out in a bustle at 1 in the afternoon. I know that person might be good for my tribe, and I still think that's the way people really use clothes.
The common misconception is that these are a bunch of like sort of crazy people who live in a bubble and really have no life outside of the fashion world. They're sort of thought as fashionistas, like they live on a fashion planet. But the reality is that these people sort of, they're the great carriers of information to the end user, and the end user is, you know, the reader and the viewer, and there are people who don't saturate themselves in this business, and we dilute all the information and make it easier for them to go shopping.
You know, it's a cycle. You know, it all gets reinvented, but it's not like, you know, it's not rocket science. It's fashion.
These days where it's so shocking because you don't. It's almost like everything happened in slow motion and in fast motion at the same time. And then you have fashion going on, and obviously it's not what I would call the highest priority of things when there's a national crisis, right? Or an international crisis of that magnitude. But the fact that it happened during Fashion Week is so ironic, because you look around and you're like saying, is this important? No, it's not important, but yet in many ways it is important, because this brings joy and laughter and fun to people. So if it's not like you want to stop it, but you do have to slow down. You have to say, this is not important anymore.
You know, the whole thing about fashion is, all in my life I've been in fashion, and I was always thinking, well, fashion, whatever. But now the way the world is, fashion, I'm happy to be in it because it's positive and it's good and people are happy from it. And the rest of the situation is so bleak that I think that we could offer a little getaway.
Everything in the world's so serious, it provides some levity.
So I think it's good, you know, that we can offer some light, bright, you know, art,
art and
so on. Exactly.